What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back on the Monday show. We play not today, but this week we play Saturday. I think it's not a Brest. It is at Pescara. Weirdly enough, but we play a friendly game, and the season is getting extremely close. In about slightly less than 3 weeks, we kick off our season against Como, or actually 3 weeks. I think it is, to be honest. We kick off our season against Como, and if you go off the first preseason game, we're not ready. But in general, we're not ready because this week, today, all the players are actually joining Motta. Or this week, Danilo, Bremer, Douglas Luiz, these players are returning and are tipped to be key players. So it's a good thing. But in general, the work that needs to be done actually needs to be done this week. This is a key week. And I'm not saying I expect Giuntoli to sign 3 players officially this week. I'm not saying that. But the base should be there to just close the deals at the bare minimum the following week. The base should be here right now. Because for the Como game, you need to have your key players in. That's my opinion. You need to have them in as soon as possible to actually gel with the team. And right now, Todibo, it's the player who could be the closest to join because we have an agreement with him. I know Di Marzio and Romeo said we finally have an agreement with the agent, but I'm going with Pedula this summer because he's been spot on when it comes to Juve news, and he's always first. And he said their agreement with Todibo has been there for like weeks. Basically, there's no issue whatsoever. That has been done. It's all about Nice now. Now, the general consensus is that we will agree a term with Nice, loan with an obligation to buy, total package between 35 million euros, and he will sign a 5-year deal. That's the one player everybody has a feeling, okay, that's probably going to get done. But the main one, and that's the weirdest one, it is Koopmeiners, and it has been Koopmeiners since January. You would all assume, me included, or maybe just me, that that's a deal you close as the first one. Because if he's the main guy, and by all means, and by all sources, whatever source you want to go, good or bad, you can go Romeo to Sport Media said, Thiago Motta views Koopmeiners as an absolute key player. So much that he told Giuntoli, if you have, and I'm making this right up, the figure I'm making up, 50 million euros, spend that on Koopmeiners rather than on Calafiori. That's how important he thinks Koopmeiners is to his new Juve side, And it's kind of weird that it's been taking so long before we actually put a bid in, before we actually start talking with Atalanta, because if he's your key player, you need to be like being Giuntoli, you need to be 1,000% sure that you will close that deal, and you will close that deal relatively soon right now, so he can be at his disposal, at Motta's disposal, so we can actually integrate him into the new ideas, into the new squad, But by the looks of it, Giuntoli is taking his time, and it is a weird transfer story. Somebody said it reminded him to the Savic one, and there are some similarities in there. The only thing is that we all have a feeling that Koopmeiners will kind of push for that move, rather than Savic was never really going to push for that move. But he is a key player. You should be, being Giuntoli, you should be doing everything to bring him in right now. But that's not really happening right now. That's, by the looks of it, it's very slow pace. It's very calm. It's very relaxed. It's very, it will come good. We will sign him. That type of vibe. And it's slightly worrying. I'm not going to lie. It is worrying a little bit because I want Motta to have his players at his disposal. Actually, I wanted Allegri. I wanted whoever was a coach to have his especially key player at his disposal, because I think it's only fair, to do that. And it's taking too much time, a little bit too much time. I know the news is, Juve are going to put in a bid and start talks. It's been that for weeks. Nobody actually knows. Not even the best sources. They're all kind of guessing right now when actually these talks start kicking off. But that's not the only issue. The other issue, and that's also a worrying thing, is we sold Sule. We're not replacing Sule right now. We're hoping Chiesa moves out. We're not replacing him until he moved out, you know? So the feeling is we're only bringing in one winger. I know Padula said, and I like Padula this summer, said two on the right, you know, permanent, and on the left, no, I think otherwise, the other way around, a loan deal. But the timing doesn't feel right. The names doesn't feel right. Porto are not going to loan us out, are not going to loan out Conceição when they need it, when they need money. Dortmund asking for 50 million euros for Adeyemi makes no sense on so many levels, but especially for the club, it makes no sense, you know. And every day you turn up the new newspaper, you see we have been linked to a player playing for Werder Bremen or Leipzig or Salzburg, and the similarities are it's always the asking price is 40 million euros. That's the benchmark basically right now. 40 million euros. You can make up a name, story, and just put in 40 million euros and everybody will kind of run with it. So it is a very confusing period right now because yes, you're preparing for the second preseason game, and I think that needs to be prepared better than it was against Nuremberg. You have a week of training right now on a different type of pace. I think it's going to be more, especially for the players who have been training for almost, what was it, 13, 40 days almost. It will probably be more tactical rather than actually physical, you know, and actually running a lot, because that was what was happening in the first couple of weeks. The new guys, they will need to ease in. They will have to do the running right now. But in general, you expect more against Brest, a more decent looking setup, a more structured looking setup, but still without key players, without a lot of question marks. Will Chiesa take part in those preseason games? So we're all assuming, me included, or just me, yes, he will take part, but you're pushing him out, and the worry is, okay, you need to replace two wingers, and you're still pushing for Todibo, you're still pushing for Koopmeiners, and we have not spoken about Milik, Kostic, De Sciglio, McKennie, all these players, Arthur, they're still here, but there's no real talk that, yeah, they're actually going to move out. Kostic, there's no talk at all. Milik, it's, yeah, interest here and there. McKennie, it's, yeah, maybe Fiorentina, but nothing real that you're like, okay, it's probably going to happen. They will haggle for a couple of millions, but we move out these players. That's not the case right now. So, yes, we need the money and you need to move out players, but you can only wait so long. You can only wait so long before the teams you're actually trying to get these players from are saying, hey, it's too late for us right now. You guys figure it out. We're not going to sell in August because we cannot replace him. That's a dangerous territory Giuntoli is entering in. So this week is a key week. You know, and I know this week is also August, but in general, it's a key week because season is coming fast and we cannot be unprepared in those first three games because it will get harder after those three games. So you need to be prepped and you need to take maximum of points, and that will only work if Motta has his players and his key players available relatively soon right now, you know, because they need to have some sort of idea on how to play in that setup or in that team. But let's see what Giuntoli will cook up this week. Maybe he will surprise us and, you know, close almost 3 deals in 1 week, but that's a massive ask. But let me know in the comments, are you worried? Are you calm, composed, or are you just like, whatever, I will wait and see? Let me know, and I'll speak to you guys later tonight. Ciao.